Well, hi everybody. It's another podcast episode today, and I'm interviewing Jessica Battle, who is doesn't run her own business, but she's also a digital creator. So, looking forward to chatting with her on how she balances both working in the industry and providing digital creation. Stay tuned. Well, welcome back, everyone. Today, as I mentioned, we're going to just talk to Jessica Battle. Jessica is based in Michigan. Now, just so that everyone knows, Jessica operates on social media, squeegee.chick. So this is her TikTok page, her Instagram page, and she also has a page on TikTok, which I noticed Jessica is quite prolific, 70,000 views on one of those videos. So that's
I
pretty
have,
remarkable. That's
it's been
pretty remarkable.
fascinating. I had a
Yeah.
video that took off kind of on Facebook and it's at 1.8 million views. I'm just a little bit blown away because I only started posting videos very end of November. So it's been what, 3 months? I'm
Wow.
blown away,
Yes,
honestly,
absolutely.
by the
So,
support and like the community and all the things that have come with that. It's been
yeah. So,
crazy.
um, how did you get into window cleaning? Because is that what your husband does? Or what?
So it's an interesting story because like most women, oh yeah, my husband's a window cleaner, so sure, I clean windows. That's not my story. Um, my husband works for our local electric company. So, and he's been doing that I think since 2018, so almost 8 years now. Um, he's had a couple different jobs before then, but he's satisfied there now. I was with some friends in 2022 and I asked that they had a window cleaning business and my kids finally went back to school. So I had 9 years of stay at home mom and I finally had the opportunity. I said, "Do you need somebody to work with you?" And they're like, "What can you do?" I don't know. I can learn anything. They're trying to figure out like where could they put me. So we went out in the field and the rest is history. I definitely was resistant to the squeegee at first. I probably had a good solid year before I even felt slightly comfortable with it, but I kind of was a water fed warrior, the outside guy for quite some time. Just, because you got to keep the operation running while also trying to train somebody. So I could pick up the water fed, start running on that, and then any opportunity that I had where we had a job that wasn't water fed, okay, well, go ahead and figure the squeegee out. That was my practice time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it'll be 4 years in October. So,
So what do you enjoy about it?
oh my gosh. Well, number one, I work with my friends. I get to hang out with my friends all day. We chat, it's a good time. Our operation might be a little different than other people's. Like a lot of people will do like 1 or 2 man crews, split everybody up. We don't really do that. Like when we work, we have one van and whoever's working for the day is all in the van, sometimes three, sometimes four of us. The kind of benefit to that is that we kind of knock houses out really quickly. Where someone might be at someone's house 4 hours because they're just them. There's four of us, so we're getting it done in an hour and we're moving on, which kind of helps people move on with their day, getting their jobs done very quickly. It's worked well for us, so that's what we do. And like especially this past year, I have we had a new guy. So the new guy's kind of graduated to the outside. He's doing what I did. He's learning the
Yeah.
squeegee, but he can handle the water fed. So I've graduated to the inside of the house at this point. So now I really got to get my skills. They got to be right. And I've really, really, really found joy in, like, I guess, a special interest in the tools. I started buying my own stuff this year, and I own way too many things. I own way too many things. I probably have just about any squeegee that exists at this point. But because of that, I've been able to really get a feel for them. So much product knowledge. I don't know. I don't need product knowledge, but I have it. And so that's been that's been fun. And then I'm kind of rambling, but like the progression of this year was a whole lot, like the past
Yeah.
year. Last year, I took on their social media,
Yeah.
which was me. I'd never done any videos before. I've been on social media since for 20 years. So
Yeah.
I kind of get an idea of how it works. And I said, I can do this. I don't know, I've never done it before, but I know I can do this. So I started making their videos this year, and we went from 32 followers in March, and they're now at like 778. So about a year later, we post videos. I think we just do once a week.
Yeah.
But basically, and then our season ends because we only work from what, April through November, just about. So my season ended, and I was like, well, I want to make videos. Like, I have so much content that I've like filmed over the last season. So I just was like, well, there's a lot of, I like showing what I do. So I just created the page separate from my personal page so that I'm not bombarding my friends with what I do. And I said,
Yes.
hey, anybody wants to follow, come on over. And I just started posting stuff.
So, which is quite funny because you have a recent video I noticed on social media where you had the channel in backwards. That was so funny because and you said, and you put on there, what am I doing wrong here? And I'm looking thinking, no, no. And then someone said, you've got the channel in backwards. And I look closer. Yeah.
And I did
So,
not see it in that video. Like, it's there, and I see it. I saw it when I looked at it later, and I'm like, I don't know how I didn't see this. Someone thought I did that on purpose, like that I set this video up, and I'm like, I'm not that savvy. I just really did not see it. And I
so,
did that whole building with it on backwards until the next video where you see I discovered it.
yeah, that was quite funny. That was quite funny. And I guess we've all done things like that as we've learnt the trades. So you said
Yeah,
you've got every type of traditional tool.
I
So in
probably
this,
do. I have my bucket next to me if you want to see some stuff.
what would be your favorite traditional squeegee?
This one right here.
Yes,
And I
yes.
just dropped my bucket. But anyways, I like
That-
this one because the clips, they slide
yeah,
over, the rubber comes out. The main reason because every time I would try to change clips and stuff, I was having a hard time with it. So when I discovered that channel and how easy it was, I'm like, well, why should I do something the hard way when I can do it the easy way?
yes. Yeah, that's been my favorite for a long time. And it's just recently I've dabbled back with the Ettore stainless steel.
Mm, that's a
But
nice one too.
I stayed away from that for so long because of those little clips that you have to do inside.
They're
So
so
yeah,
finicky.
yeah, you've got to get them just right, and then so with the company you work for,
Hmm.
what window cleaning specialty do you and your friends focus on through that window cleaning season?
So we're mostly like residential. Where we live, it is like I said, mostly farmland. We cover about 3 counties. We're working on kind of expanding towards that Bay City area that you
Yeah,
pointed out on the map because they've moved a little closer to there. But we cover like where I was showing you where I live there all the way north of there, like the whole what they call the thumb of Michigan. So it's farmland and lake houses because we have Lake Huron
yeah,
surrounding us, and a lot of our work is there. So we have some pretty decent sized homes there, and a lot of the more modest homes, like just in the farmland, a lot of older folks who say, I can't clean my windows with newspaper and vinegar anymore. Can you come through? you
yes,
know, I'm
yes,
sure you've heard that.
yes. I've heard that plenty of times.
And
Yes,
my boss does pressure washing as well. I can do it. I have done it. I'm not a fan. Soft washing houses and things
yeah,
like that. And then we have one guy who works, I think it's maybe 2 days a week, solely commercial, and he does all year. So like their full commercial routes are just run by one guy, and the rest of us just kind of work in teams. We also have a credit union. It's called Frankenmuth Credit Union. It's branches, all of the branches. We cover those as well. So I guess those are commercial, but we handle those ones.
yeah. That's a good
Mhm.
pickup if you've got the whole chain
Yeah.
in the area. So with
Yeah, it's
your
helped.
with the company you work for, how do they market their window cleaning
That's a good
business?
question. So they have been around since 2002.
Hmm.
There are very, very few other companies who work like the same area. The other company who does work the same area is actually friends of ours as well. So it's a lot of word of mouth, probably more than anything else. We have, like, you can search Google window cleaning, you can find it there. We have an Instagram, a Facebook. We we're looking into like doing some signs, some of the road signs for
Yeah.
the areas we're looking to expand into, and we also were looking into doing some Facebook ads because you can target very specific areas with them, and there are certain areas that they really want to get into. So we'll probably be looking at some of those things coming up here soon because we pick up in April. So we'll probably start posting videos again and looking at whatever advertising we're going to be doing like very soon here.
Yes. So has your season started again?
Not yet. No, no. It's March. Well, it's March 1st for me. It's March
Yeah.
2nd for you. Um, well, like I said, we'll start getting, I'm sure they are probably fielding a lot of calls right now, especially because I don't know how you guys do you do Fahrenheit or Celsius there?
We do Celsius,
Okay, so I can't
but we
don't know how
but
to
we
convert it, but
but you tell me
it's
what the temperature is, and I think I can work it out.
yeah, the so today it was probably 25 degrees. It's very, very cold. It was snowing. Um, but next week it's going to be 62 degrees.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
those are the days where I can guarantee you their phone's going to be ringing. They're going to be filling the schedule because people are like, oh, it's warm outside. It's sunny outside. I can't see out my windows.
Yes. Yes.
And it's a lot of long-standing customers. Like, at least here, typically a lot of people are 2 times a year. Some are three.
Yeah.
We have very few that are monthly, but probably only like three or four of them. But
Yeah.
2 times a year, fall and spring tends to be our really like busy times.
Yes. Yes. So so your company would have been marketing already through this quite non-operational period to make sure
Just
that they're there front of the center in people with people's minds.
yeah.
So, do you do storm windows?
Storm. Oh yeah, we do. We definitely do. There are in every style you can imagine. We have this one house and it's super cool. I say it's super cool. It's still storm windows, but it's super cool because these are the old wood frame ones that you actually have to go outside, turn the little metal clips and pull them out. And so every year we'll go in there, like we'll be going in there in the spring, we'll pull them down and store them, put their screens up, and then in the fall we'll do the opposite. We have another house by the lake that is the same thing. We go in, all the storm windows are in right now, so we'll have to go and take them all out, put them in their garage, pull all the screens in, clean all the windows, and then the same in the in the fall we'll go and we'll put them all back in, and that's when we'll clean them. And yeah, but then we have some we just like we're going in once or twice a year and we'll go pull them out, and we're down on our knees and you get to just clean both sides and put them back in when you're done. But like, thankfully, being a team of usually at least three of us, so we'll have one person run in, start taking them all out, getting them all set up. Another person's gonna clean all of the windows on the inside that are not storms. Another person's gonna clean all the outside windows. Then someone's gonna be working on the storms. Whoever finishes first kind of joins in on whoever's falling behind, and we knock them out pretty efficiently.
It's we have those type of windows
Mm-hmm.
here in Australia. We call them casement windows that slide up and
Okay.
down, and the
Mm-hmm.
screens are attached. They're usually on old homes where there's the
Mm-hmm.
little metal that hold the insect screens on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the only time people have additional windows to that is when they want soundproofing, and they usually put
Mm.
that on the inside. So then you
Okay.
have this massive panel to lift out, but they don't store them, they just get them put back. But those storm
Yeah.
windows, considering you've got to take them, go up ladders at times and get them down.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I'm glad in Australia we don't touch.
Yeah. And a
Yeah.
lot of times our storms, the style that they are generally are ones that are meant to be taken in from inside. So like they
Oh,
will be, you'll have just generally like a double hung window, and then on the outside layer it's like the metal frame. And so you'll have a bottom and a top one a lot of times, and like the top one might just have like these little metal slider clips that you slide this way. The top might have one, and then you pull them in, pull them down, pull them out, and they generally come in from the inside though. I think we only have the one house where they're outside ones. They're
okay, well,
generally
that's good.
like, so it helps because you don't have to do that, like hold a whole storm down a ladder. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yes. Now, when it comes to social media and digital
Hmm.
creation, what is it that you really enjoy about combining working with your friends with
Hmm.
showing the world about the window cleaning industry?
Honestly, like the whole premise behind me starting was that I was interacting a lot in window cleaning groups. I would like respond to people. Someone's like, I don't know how to get this screen out. Here's the video. And I'll like, here's how you do it. And I kind of felt like, here's me on my personal page saying this stuff. People click my name and there's nothing to show for it. And I just kind of wanted to be like, if I'm being of assistance and explaining this tool, this way to do something, that I should be able to back it up in one way or another. And so I created the separate account. I generally try to comment from there. And I just people ask questions all the time. I love answering questions. How I can't there's no way to get that squeegee, you pull it down and not have a line. I'm like, well, let me explain. It's not as complicated as you think it is. It's just a matter of angling it in the correct way while you're pulling down. And I just love explaining stuff, like troubleshooting kind of, or again talking about the tools. I love talking about the tools. I
Yes.
love displaying what they can do. I just love all of that stuff. So it's just kind of become like a special interest. And I didn't bring them with me. I have my Meta glasses. I have the Oakley
Oh,
version, and they're
okay.
very, very helpful in filming hands free.
Yes. And going back to when you said people inquire, I'm doing a pull down and yet they're still leaving lines.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my answer to that is what squeegee are you using? And if,
Really?
yeah, what squeegee?
Okay.
Because I've used Ettore or Ettore, I've used Wagtail,
Mm-hmm.
Unga, Sorbo, the Younger Ninja that you just showed us, and the
Mm-hmm.
best squeegee for straight pulls is the Younger Ninja. 100%.
Really?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely.
Because I use well, it's usually on a pole if I'm straight pulling, but I use the Mormon
Yeah.
with the Ettore brass. And for my straight pulls, this has been the easiest one that I've found. But then it's interesting because this squeegee I have a hard time using in hand. I feel
Yes.
like each tool has such a purpose. Like I like my Ninja in hand, but this one on the pole is the best.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes that's the case. The pivoting squeegees, the
Mhm.
wagtails, the Mormons, they are a precision and they
Yeah.
work very well off a pole. Um, I do use them when I'm just standing up against the glass.
Hmm.
But oftentimes it's because the difficulty is because I've got the too long a channel in there. A
Hmm.
smaller channel is much easier to control, less
Yeah, for
issues.
sure.
So it's
Hmm.
fascinating that and this is the thing for anyone watching, and you're thinking, well, I don't use that tool. I prefer something else. That's the whole point. Um,
Hmm.
when we're watching social media clips, say from Jessica, from Luke the Window, whatever, just see what you have to experiment. I think it's
Yes.
fascinating that you've got a million different traditional tools, Jessica, because that's the whole point. We just have
Yes.
to keep practicing, learning, and find what works for us. Don't
Yeah.
apologize. Yes.
I can tell you that the crew that I work with only exclusively uses the Ettore Contour Pro Plus that's made for super channels with a Sorbo channel in it. And the problem that I struggled with that tool is that handle it articulates with a spring. So it's helpful. You're going along the glass. As you close out, that spring activates and it almost turns to 0 degrees. The problem I had with it, I probably am heavy handed, and sometimes it would articulate in the back of the channels touching the glass, and I'm like, I don't want to scratch glass. I struggled with it. It was the main reason I went to go look for more tools. And and another thing I wanted to say too, that Mormon comes with a liquidator channel, and I hate that channel. I hate it. And people are like, but if you learn it, if you have the right angle, if you have the ends just right, if you have, I'm like, but why should I want to fight the tool when I can use a tool that's working for me? I don't want to fight. I don't want to change the way that I work to make the tool work when I can work the way I'm comfortable with something that actually works for me. And everybody who's putting a squeegee in their hand really needs to try a variety of squeegees in hand or
Yeah.
on a pole or any of the things because they
Yes.
all feel very different.
Well, my first squeegees were brass Etere, but I also was encouraged back then to have what was called the Hound Dog channel, which I
Mm,
think is now the Contour Pro by Etere.
okay.
And the person that trained me said you need the 36-inch because we've got some large panels here. And
Mm-hmm.
it was with the Etere handle.
Mm-hmm.
That lasted a year, and then I ended up cutting it up. It's just I could never master it.
Yeah.
Whereas other brands I mastered it in no time at all. So that's the whole thing. Don't
Mm-hmm.
fight the tool. Get a tool
Yes.
that works with you. That basically is an extension of you as you clean.
And don't
That's
listen to people when they tell you you're doing it wrong. I got a friend or, professional friend, the guy who owns the Dallas window cleaning supply. He says at the end of his videos all the time, he says, if the window is clean, don't let anybody tell you you're doing it wrong. And I just am like, because especially on my videos, that I get a lot of that. I was cleaning my patio door at my house, and someone says, you're you should have used a 36-inch channel. It would have been faster. I'm at my house with a patio door. What use do I have for a 36-inch channel? But yes, and I kind of commented, yes, you're right. It would have been faster. I don't have that channel. So I made do.
yeah. What's the
While I'm
advantage?
slowly kind of laughing to myself because, like, that's kind of a silly thought. Or my favorite when I'm doing commercial work and someone says, you could just get a ladder. It's so much better. And I'm like, but am I going to really put a ladder in the snow? Or for commercial, it doesn't really make sense. So what works for me is what you see in my videos, but works for somebody else is what you see that they're doing. But the
Yeah,
window's still clean.
and saying that, Jessica, when you said about why would I use the ladder, I've seen window cleaners and they're doing a shop front route work,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the window is just a little bit higher, and they're getting up a little three step ladder to clean
Mm-hmm.
that panel, walking along, next up, down.
Mm-hmm.
Ladder safety is an issue. People
Yep.
walking past are an issue. Speed,
Mm-hmm.
using a pole and learning the precision tools,
Yes.
you're getting more jobs done, more money in the bank for the work you're putting in a day. So it, uh, it's so important that window cleaners are looking at sites like yours,
Mm-hmm.
watching you do what everyone else of us are doing, just trying to make things more efficient
Mm-hmm.
so that they can be educated. That's the whole
Yeah.
point of sharing education.
I
So,
really do enjoy like kind of showing videos. I used did a video where I put my Mormon at a -5 because I wanted to see if I do this -5, can I get from the top to the bottom? And it was above my head to the ground. And it did. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, and I'm talking to myself in this video, but
yeah,
the idea that like there's so many different ways we can try. And I do believe that a lot of people, now I understand pole work is hard. Like,
yeah,
I didn't really even start messing with the poll until I got that squeegee in like May last year. I had struggled. I didn't like pole work. I hated it. And I've said, I think a lot of people, maybe they're resistant to even trying to learn it. So they say, well, just get a ladder. It's faster. But in reality, if they would learn the pole, practice with it and watch a million videos. That's what I did. Watch everybody's videos and try everything and figure out what works for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, when it comes to software, like you mentioned that you work for a company,
Mm-hmm.
what CRM do they use?
They're using Jobber, and
Okay, yeah,
as like an employee, I can see some of what it does. Like for us, I can check the boxes for each individual person who is on our team and see where everybody's at for the day, see where I'm supposed to be at for the day. There's also like systems in there that you can call through the app, which then allows it to not use your personal phone number, send a message that you're 5, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes out. I've seen them use a lot of those features, so I think that they've really like kind of just gotten used to that one, and it works well for them.
yes, yes, that's a very popular one. I think a few people in Australia use it, but I know
Mm-hmm.
it's very popular there in the States. So I just want to interrupt our episode at this point when we've talked about one CRM to talk to you about another, Squeegee App. I've been using it for well over 5 years. I love it. And it's got the capacity to schedule, market, invoice, quote, so many features, even does your accounting for you, and people can pay their bills through the app. There's lots of features, and I'm sure that if you tried it, you'll find it really helpful in your business. So if you'd like a discount code, check the episode description notes and you'll find one right there. Looking back on your experience with the industry,
Mm-hmm.
now before I come to that, let's go back to your social media.
Sure.
How do you cope with the negative comments that people make on your social feed?
That's a good question.
How do you,
Um,
like, because for some people that can be quite disheartening. They're trying their
mhm,
best, and someone
mhm.
says, you've done it wrong.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, I have already like I said before, already like kind of established my name in conversations with people. Enough people in these groups know who I am by my name that when I'm saying this is something to do, and then, okay, here's this video, and someone's saying like that, something negative, a lot of times I don't say anything, and someone that I know will come in and comment something back to them. In a lot of cases, I've found that the community that has kind of formed from window cleaning, you've got people who have your back, and you
Yes.
you know them as well. And so I'll put something and say, it says, I think someone said, just get a water fed, you'll save so much money. And I had immediately some guys in the UK that I know really well were like, don't, we're not going there. Like, get the squeegee. We're not going to try to act like that's the way all the time. So a lot of times people jump in for me, but it is, for me, it has been almost an experiment of courage, of being okay with receiving criticism. There's almost a little bit of like, what do you call it, therapy and healing from it, because if you come from like a background where you don't handle it at all, but then you avoid it, you never actually get accustomed to it. So in putting myself out there, I've gotten a lot more accustomed to dealing with, there's going to be a negative comment, but I know enough about what I'm doing, and I know, and I trust, and I have courage that what I'm doing, it's not wrong. It's the right way,
Yeah.
because it's what works for me. So
Yeah.
they can say what they want to say, but I know, and I trust that I know what I'm doing enough. Like, I've built up my skills enough to be confident in saying, like, whatever you say, like, I know that I'm doing this the way that is right for me,
Yes.
So it's helped a lot. It's actually helped me personally, just because I am somebody who didn't like criticism, and I've had to kind of learn to just take that on And like, you know what? I'm okay. I'm still okay. I still
Yeah.
like who I am, even though you
Yeah.
say those things.
Yes. So it's taught you resilience.
That's the word. I said that the other day. That's exactly the word.
Yes, taught you resilience. So
It's
I
also
noticed,
taught me that by putting myself out there, that there's a lot more positive than negative. I think a lot of times we say I don't have anything of value to add. I don't have anything of value to show people. But I notice, at least for me, that I'm very passionate about what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. I'm very genuine because you're always going to see me talking to myself. I'm going to show you my mistakes. That video of when I discovered that channel was on backwards is the one that's at 1.8 million views. It's literally me talking to myself like, how did I do this wrong? And of course, there were a few comments on it like, oh, well, I would never do that. But most of the comments were like, we've all been there. And it really kind of encourages you to be like, okay, like we're all human. All the videos don't have to be perfect.
because
This
deep
is who I
down,
am, and I'm not perfect.
that's right, because deep down, we all want authenticity and
Yeah,
we love authenticity in people.
I
And
believe that.
we see people's, and when we are prepared to share our vulnerabilities,
Mm-hmm,
people then respect that we're not putting up this big armor and we're going to
yeah.
be, we're the amazing. And probably social media has the downside to social media with all of the influencers with tens of millions of followers. It's all the
Mm-hmm,
pretty side. Everything is perfect.
mm-hmm,
Whereas with window cleaning, that it won't always be perfect. And to be
mm-hmm,
upfront and authentic about it, this is what I did and this is what I'm doing. Um,
mm-hmm.
if we could roll with that, it helps us to grow as people.
I believe
Now,
so.
now,
Absolutely.
2 weeks ago, I noticed on your social media that you were at the IWCA
Yes.
show. Um, we don't have much to do with that in Australia. Like maybe occasionally there'll probably be some who go. I went to the Cleaning Expo last year in the UK,
I did see that on your page.
which was pretty cool. Um,
Yeah.
so what did you learn? What did you enjoy about going to IWCA? And how is
Well,
it
for
different to
yeah.
the huge convention?
So I can't compare it to the huge. I have not been yet. The IWCA was my first ever convention. A lot of people have been kind of building up to it. Again, like building a lot of the connections that I have on the online with others over time. A lot of them are going to be there, and then there's the opportunity to talk to meet all these people in person. It was kind of, I keep saying, it was a wild whirlwind experience. It was like what you see in a social media window cleaning group, or really any group of some common interest, but now all these people are right here. And it was wild. But I loved that. I loved the networking with people. I also loved getting to speak with the manufacturers of our tools because I love tools. I love our tools. So going in, and Mormon has a new wide body channel that they're coming out with, and I'm able to try it before like anybody else gets the opportunity and post a video about it. Speaking with Unger and like things that they may be working on. Ettore did interviews for people when they were like 90th anniversary. What does the squeegee mean to you? And at the very end of that, they gave me the squeegee they interviewed everybody with. So I felt kind of privileged for that. I have the squeegee. But it was just talking to people and
Do
also
you have the
learning.
squeegee? Do you have that squeegee in front of you?
Oh, I don't. I'd have to run and grab it. It's close by. If you'd want, I can go grab it real
Let's
quick.
do it.
Okay. Not gonna look any different than any other one. I believe it's just the regular um
Yeah,
brass
that
one.
that's what I started with. That's the one I started with.
Yep.
It hasn't
They
got the
walked around. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
that's that brass handle with the brass channel,
Hmm.
and after within 12 months I'd lost them.
Yeah, and it was
Metaphorically
like,
speaking.
yeah, it was yeah, they just went around and they interviewed people, and you got to hold the squeegee and like just do an interview talking about like what does it mean to you? Because I think a lot of people did start with that squeegee.
Yes, I did. Yeah,
It's a lot of people's start, and so there's a lot of history with that. But yeah, just the networking, the experience talking to people, and like there's also like the companies who sell the tools. the stores, like all of them were there. Um, Maybe
So
working with one soon and possibly making videos with them. So
yeah, we
there was
watched the same.
opportunities there that I didn't even know were going to happen. So
So
that was cool.
obviously WCR were there, windowcleaning.com.
Hmm.
Was Windows 101 from Seattle there?
No, Detroit Sponge was there,
Detroit
which is the
Sponge,
one
yeah.
that's close to me. I
Yeah,
know all
yeah.
those guys. They're really cool. And Dallas Window Cleaning Supply was there.
Uh-huh.
I've spoken with, like, on the internet is another thing, networking with people like on the internet. I've spoken with the woman who runs Window Magic Supply in California.
Oh yeah.
Um, I've bought, actually, I bought this cute little squeegee necklace from a guy who is a company called Window World Supply, and he's in Minnesota. Then obviously WCR and all the other ones. And then I met a guy who runs, I'm going to say this all wrong, Ramen Wasser Depot in Denmark or Belgium, one of the two. I don't know. But he was there. His name was Tommy. He was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
I've been to the Windows 101 um, showroom in Seattle and
Oh, nice.
talked to Manny there back in the day. I bought
Yeah.
from them and recently started to buy some stuff through windowcleaner.com. But some of
Mm-hmm.
those companies don't export to Australia. And
Yeah.
the other difficulty is because of exchange rates, it's cheaper for me to wait for a local supplier to bring a product in bulk
Yeah.
and then I buy. So, but it's fascinating to how does the networking at those kind of shows benefit you?
Well, for me this time, I've made a lot of connections where people are like, this is you. Hey, let's get together. Let's do some videos together. Let's, possibly opportunities to make money.
Hmm.
Speaking with some of the manufacturers to who are saying, "Hey, let's link up. Let's, we're testing some products or making a list of people who we want to work with to test products." Like things like that. You'd never get that
No.
just being at home.
Yeah.
And it's like when I went, I've always thought myself to be someone who doesn't know how to talk to people, but I guess it was just not realizing that when I'm passionate about something, it's actually really easy for me. So I think going in person allows you to let your personality shine through in a way
Yeah.
that you can't do through
Yeah.
the internet.
And the same thing happened to me last year at the cleaning expo. One of the stands there was Squeegee App that I had been
Oh, yep.
using since 2020, and
Yeah.
so I now refer to Squeegee App in my podcasts a number of times, and we've got a little connection there, which is benefiting mutually. So
Yeah.
that networking is so very important to be
I
able
think so too.
to, especially when you're creating content, creating material for people.
Mm-hmm.
And businesses are happy to get some referrals, things like that.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you just had a ball at that show.
And it was the first time I ever went even 24 hours without my kids. My kids are 12, 10, and 8, and I have never spent one night away from them. Well, I think one night ever. Otherwise, then like when I would be at the hospital having the next child, then I had a night away from the one. But like
Yeah.
there is no grandparents around. There's no, nobody takes the kids. So this was the first time for me to feel like more than just mom. Sometimes as a woman, we get like our role as mom, and that's what it is. But like I'm mom, but like I'm a window cleaner. There's more to me than just mom, and it kind of gives you that autonomy to really be who you are and discover who you are outside of mom.
So that's a really interesting point. How does that empower you as a woman that you're not just under the label of I'm a mum of three kids and I am a housewife and my husband works for a utility company? How
Mm-hmm.
does not just working as a window cleaner, but now with content creation, networking, how does that empower you as a woman?
That just makes me feel like I have more purpose. We all want to feel like we can have an impact somewhere. And when I get to this point, when I'm networking with people, when I'm putting out content and people are taking it and enjoying it, I feel like I'm putting a mark on like, here's who I am and here's how I can benefit somebody, even if it's in a small way, you
Yeah.
know, to just feel like you are useful in society in some way
Yeah.
or another.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and of course raising kids is absolutely like the most important thing. Like they're a gift, you know what I mean? But
That's right.
they're going to appreciate you no matter what. So it's kind of nice to get a little appreciation outside of your family who are just automatically going to do that. Well, then sometimes they don't because they're kids, and sometimes they tell me how terrible of a cook I am. But, you know, just being and having some kind of other identity than
Yes.
just mom.
Yes. And that you're, as Brene Brown says in her book, that you are enough, that
Hmm.
you can do these things. And sometimes we get pigeonholed, and that can
Hmm.
be quite debilitating. So
Yeah.
it's fascinating which is why in this series that I've been doing on my podcast with women who are crushing it in the industry, just
Yeah.
how they bring a difference to window cleaning. It's been traditionally a male industry, but more
Hmm.
and more recently, women are standing up and really enjoying it. So this is a fascinating aspect. So if a new window cleaner saw you there in downtown Bay City or in the area that you work in, and they said,
Hmm.
"Give me your top three tips to starting a business." Now,
Hmm.
you're not in business, but what would be your top three tips?
I mean, if it's just like to clean, to learn how to do it, I say to watch everybody's videos. I I mean, I had the friends who I work with trying to teach me how to do it, like even hand on hand, and I still had a hard time, but I go to YouTube and there's very a lot of different people who are teaching you, but maybe just one person's perspective isn't enough. It took me finding the right person's perspective to for something to finally click for me. So
So
watching
who
all the videos in
who
all the
was the
different ways.
who was the content creator that clicked for you?
Oh man, I wish I could remember. Tradman something.
Oh, yeah, Peter. Peter,
Yeah,
yeah, he's
because
in.
I'd seen like Luke the window cleaner, and I've seen Steve-O and a lot of them, and they do great. And it was something about the way that guy. You said what is his name?
Peter.
Peter. It was something about the way when he described the squeegee, and I just watched him on the window, and it was like it sounded hard to describe, but like I was kind of like turning it and like but I was learning that it glides up like this, and it glides, and it was just watching one of his videos that just clicked for me. But like that might not be the one that everybody sees, so I just say everybody needs to watch everybody's perspective and figure out like just practice, and then my next one is trying all the tools. If you have an opportunity, if you're near one of the window cleaning supply stores and maybe they're willing to let you kind of get hands on, that's how they are here at Detroit Sponge. They have like a little setup. It's a small operation, but everything is out there, and you can get your hands on it. Like I see the Unger Ergotech has a regular handle and an XL handle, and I'm like, I don't know which one, but when you're able to go into there, you can okay, this one feels better than this one does. Getting if you can afford to get a couple things to try out, grab one handle and a couple different channels. Getting your hands on the tools to figure out what tool works for you helps. And then also my third one that I had to learn was to give myself grace and have patience with myself because I expected day one I was going to go in and I was going to just master this thing, and it took me way longer than I wanted it to take me before I finally got it. So, not expecting
So
perfection the first time you pick it up.
that's why on some of your videos you've got that comment. Please give me grace.
Yes.
Please cut me
And I'm
some.
working on doing that for
We
myself.
say in Australia, please cut me some slack. Just be,
Yes.
yeah, relaxed. Fun fact about Peter, Tradman.
Hmm.
One of my very early videos on my YouTube channel, Duncan the Window Pro, was an interview with Peter. And so anyone who loves Tradman can go and watch my interview with him. Peter has just sold up and he's moved away from window cleaning.
Yeah, I figured because most of his videos are older,
Yeah,
but
so
they're still there and they're
he's gone
super helpful.
into motorbike training. So if you want to learn how to
Nice.
ride a motorbike, he's now in that field. I was
He's
talking to
probably
him just a
good
few
at
weeks ago.
explaining that as well too.
Well, they live in a very bleak part of Scotland. The weather can be
Mm,
pretty tough, but yeah, Peter and Carly are lovely people. Yeah.
very
So,
good.
well, that's fascinating. That's a really good tips. Just watch and learn, and go and
Hmm.
try and play with some tools at one of the suppliers, and
Hmm.
just take your time. There's
Hmm.
some really good tips. So, Jessica, it's been a real buzz talking to you today, and I'm looking forward to the future content. And hopefully, with some of your networking, you get to do some other things with some of the maybe suppliers or with
Yeah.
some of the companies. But I've really enjoyed you joining us here at the Window Pro podcast, and I wish you all the very best over there in Michigan. I
Thank
hope
you.
this
I
coming
appreciate.
spring and fall season are going to be a bumper season that you'll really enjoy. Till next
I
time,
believe so.
take care now.
Yes. Bye.